Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we are going to be deep diving into a very requested topic, which is website recovery. If your website's been hit with a manual action penalty or potentially you have seen a drop in traffic, this video is for you. I'm going to go over 8 effective ways to get your website back to the top of Google. So first of all, what we want to find out is if it is a seasonal drop. Now, what a seasonal drop could potentially look like is this, for example. This is a website that seasonally drops every single weekend because it's a service-based website. Now, there are also other factors as well. So for example, if you have a snowboarding website during summer, you're naturally going to get less searches and less clicks through to your website. Another thing that we want to make certain is the website doesn't have a manual action. Now, you can very quickly check this by logging into your Google Search Console, and when you are looking at the overview section, you will see manual actions, 1 issue detected. Now, if your website does have a manual action, I would highly recommend hiring a specialist. My link is down below, so if you guys do have a manual action, go over to my website, fill in the form, and I will be able to help you out. Now, a few things about a manual action. There is obviously a manual action for links, so if you have been building toxic or spammy links, which we will go into further in the video, you might want to do a complete disavow with link research tools. Now, there are 10 types of manual actions to be aware of, some of which are a lot easier to get reversed, some of which might take a little bit more time, hence why you should contact a specialist to remove the manual actions. So step number 1, we first of all want to figure out which pages have dropped. In a lot of cases, what you will typically find is that not all of your pages would have dropped. It might be a handful, or it might be 1 or 2 pages that have dropped. So we want to first of all identify those pages. So first of all, what we want to do is go over to Ahrefs and click on organic keywords. Then what we want to do is go over to position, click on top 3, and also click on lost and also declined, and click on apply. Then click show results, and basically what this is going to do is it will show us keywords that we used to rank in positions 1 to 3, and now we no longer rank in those positions. So as you can see here, we do have a lot of pages that used to rank in position 1, but now they don't. So if we take a look at this page here, invoicing instructions, we used to rank position 1 and now we are position 56. Same goes with what does a payroll check look like. We used to rank position 1 and now we are in position 53. What I recommend doing here is creating a list of keywords that you used to rank for and now you don't, and then we're going to analyze these keywords one at a time. So the keyword that we will be looking at here is how much does it cost to open a hair salon. Now, if we actually scroll here on the Keyword Explorer section, you will see a tab called Position History, and from this section it will show you the history of pages. So for example, if we actually deselect all of the pages and if we take a look at Sage.com, as you can see here, from the months of 10th of November all the way through to March, they were ranking position 1. So from the November core algorithm update all the way until the March 2024 algorithm update, they were in position 1, and then they dropped off and they are now ranking in position 8/9. But what we also want to do is see which websites have ended up taking their position as well. So for example, if we take a look at glossgenius.com and also Buy Right Beauty, you will see that they are ranking in positions 1 and 2. Now, what we want to do is try and find a commonality of the websites that have increased in positions to the ones that haven't increased. A few things that I would be looking at would be links that are pointing through to those websites, topical authority that those websites have that we don't, and potentially internal linking opportunities that those websites are doing to the pages that are ranking that we don't have. So very quickly, looking at glossgenius.com, it does look like they deserve to rank higher than Sage only because they actually do have a lot more topical authority in the actual space. So if we take a look at this website, They are talking about makeup artists, they're talking about barbers, nail artists, tanning artists. And again, if we take a look at the position number 2 as well, which is buyrightbeauty.com. And again, these guys, they look like they sell spa equipment, and they just look more topical, authoritative in the actual beauty and spa space. So that being said, does Sage need to become a beauty and spa salon expert? Not necessarily. They could definitely write more articles within that space. Or another thing that they could do is build more links to do with the beauty and spa salon space. Or they could also build more internal links to that page, and that should have a positive ranking factor, so they will regain that position. So if I was the SEO manager at Sage.com, this is what I would be looking to do. I would first of all be looking to do a content gap on those 2 websites and see which articles I could look to upload through to my websites. Obviously, the articles need to make sense. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 is acquiring some of the links that those 2 websites have that I potentially might not have. So option number 3 is I would look to build more internal links from other relevant pages on Sage.com. So what I would be looking to do is find as many beauty salon related pages or hair beauty pages on the Sage.com website, and I would look to internal link that back up to my page. So I'm also going to show you guys another way of using the position history in Ahrefs. So if we actually search up best hotels in Mallorca, and this is a UK SERP, and if we go to the top 10 positions, as you can see here, there are 2 websites that have just recently come in to start ranking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deselect all of the websites, and I'm going to just select the 2 websites that have just started recently ranking pretty well. So as you can see here, just after the core update in November, you have got 2 websites that have started ranking out of nowhere, and Google is actually preferring these websites. The 2 websites are luxuryhotel.world, and you have also got classiccollection.co.uk. So a few things that I like to look at when a website has started performing better after a core algorithm update. First of all, I like to check how the website is actually structured and also how they are structuring their content. Are they using long paragraphs? Are they potentially using more images? Have they got a variety of different videos on the page? You need to be analyzing these things at a page by page level. The second thing that I want to be looking at is how is the website structured? Are they an e-commerce store? Are they an informational website? Do they talk about multiple niches, or do they only talk about hotels in this case? The next thing what I want to be taking a look at in this case is what kind of links do those websites have that my website doesn't. If there is a commonality in the backlink profile, I want to be acquiring those links. So for example, in this case, if these 2 websites both had a link from kajradash.com, I would want to reach out to kajradash.com and acquire that backlink for my website. And the last thing I would be looking at on these 2 websites is the topical authority. So what I mean by that is if those 2 websites have a lot of pages talking about hotels in Mallorca, I would want to publish those articles on my website as well. So very quickly, just looking at these 2 websites, if my website had dropped, and let's say I was an informational style website and these 2 websites had took my position, I would potentially look to change the layout of my page to try and match this style of format, because this is what Google is actually preferring in the actual SERPs. So what I mean by that is if I had a massive 4,000 word article on talking about the hotels in Mallorca, Google isn't going to prefer that for this SERP. It's clearly showing that it's preferring these 2 websites. So I would be looking to change the page layout structure on my website to match something along these lines, because Google is telling you that it prefers this type of layout. So before we get into the backlink section of this video and the disavow section, one thing that we want to make certain that we are actively doing is getting our brand mentioned, and these can also be unlinked mentions as well. So for example, all I have done here is I've done minus IBM.com space IBM in brackets. And if we take a look here, there are a lot of websites that mention IBM. Same goes with Diggity Marketing. If you do minus diggitymarketing.com space Matt Diggity, there are a lot of places that mention Matt Diggity. So as a brand, what you want to be making certain that you are doing is you are getting your brand and also potentially your CEO or your founders mentioned on a variety of different places and websites. So the next thing, what we want to be taking a look at is the disavow section. And what we want to be making certain of is that we don't have any spammy links going through to our website. Now, a tool that I recommend for this is Link Research Tools. It is quite expensive. Again, you can hire an expert to do this. Now, this is what Link Research Tools looks like. It basically tells you the actual toxicity levels of all of your links. And another good thing about this tool is that it has got a lot more data and it gives a much more accurate disavow than SEMrush and also Ahrefs. So for example, I'm just going to take a look at authorityhacker.com, and as you can see here, with Link Research Tools, it has been able to pick up 4 million backlinks and 17,000 referring domains. Now, the exact same website on Ahrefs, it only shows 28,000 backlinks and 7.6 thousand referring domains, and over on Ahrefs, it is only reporting 80,000 backlinks. So as you can see on Ahrefs and SEMrush, there is a massive discrepancy when it comes to showing your backlinks. Now, to get the most accurate backlink disavow, you should be using a tool like Link Research Tools. So the reason why there is a massive discrepancy is because Link Research Tools does crawl a lot of aggregator links, hacked websites, and also adult sites that point through to your website. So to get the most accurate disavow, you should be using a tool like that, because when it comes to tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush, they do miss out a lot of aggregator sites or spammy scraper sites as well. And those are the ones that can cause your website a lot of harm. An added bonus step that you should be looking at doing after completing a disavow is, first of all, you want to make certain that you are running your entire backlink profile through an indexing tool, and that basically gets Google to recrawl all of those spammy links and essentially disvalue those backlinks from your link profile. The next thing what you should be looking at doing is making certain that the links that you are newly acquiring do pass the test. So what you should be looking at is two really important metrics: trust factor and also the power metric of those backlinks. If you are acquiring toxic links again, that could be a massive recipe for disaster. So the next step that we want to be making certain that we are completing on our website is a content pruning activity. Now, in some cases, websites grow past their topical border, and what we should be looking to do is essentially get rid of some of the dead weight pages that are potentially causing more harm than good to our website. What I like to do for this step is go over to Screaming Frog and plug in my Google Search Console and make certain that all of my pages within the past 12 months have at least been getting some form of clicks and also some form of impressions. Now, in some cases, if my pages have been getting no clicks but some impressions, I might look to actually keep that page, but just do a little bit of content expansion and also re-optimize that page to try and get more clicks through to that page. So the next step is the polar opposite to the previous step, and that is lacking topical authority. So in some cases, your website might not actually have enough topical authority to rank for that keyword. In this case that I showed earlier, Sage.com, they didn't have that much topical authority in the beauty and hair salon space. So in some cases, you might actually need to add more articles to your website as well. I highly recommend doing a topical map and figuring out what missing articles you actually have in comparison to the guys that have started to outrank you. So the next section we want to be looking at on our website is the internal linking structure. Now, a lot of website owners actually forget about internal links. So I'm going to give you a quick way of figuring out if you have got an internal linking issue on your website. So if we head over to Screaming Frog, as you can see, I have just ran a quick audit, and On this section here, we have got inlinks and also unique inlinks. Now, if you spot any pages on your website that have got a low amount of unique inlinks, but that page is very valuable and important for you, you should look to build more internal links to those pages. An added step for this section is if you are internal linking from higher up on the actual page, it passes more power. And also if you are able to internal link from more valuable sections on your website, such as the homepage, that also passes more internal link juice through to that page that you are trying to rank. And the very last step that we want to be looking at is the links that are pointing through to our competitors that we don't actually have. So what I have done in this example is I've just went back to the best hotels in Mallorca example that I was showing you guys before, and I have selected the 2 winners. And what I have done here is I have just went to the link intersect section on Ahrefs. I've just used an example website, casualhotels.com. So what I would be looking to do here is creating a list of all of the links that these guys have that I don't, and I would be looking to do some form of outreach to acquire some of these backlinks. So that's been my video on what you should do after a core algorithm update, or potentially if you have been hit by a manual action. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like, as that is the sponsor of this video. And if you want to work with me, make sure to check out the link in the description or check out casualdash.com and fill in the contact form. Thanks.